Welcome back to Almost Above Average, the podcast where we dive deep into the complexities of life, challenge our perspectives, and explore what it means to be human. Today, on this Thoughtful Thursday edition, we're joined by Dr. Joe Shepard, who brings a wealth of insight into the critical topics of mental health, vulnerability, and the challenges men face in expressing their emotions. In this conversation, we'll explore the importance of creating safe spaces for vulnerability, the impact of childhood trauma on adult relationships, and the societal expectations that often prevent men from being open about their struggles. We'll also discuss the need for diverse support systems and the recognition of hyperfunctioning masculine depression as a significant issue affecting men's health. Join us as we delve into these important topics and work towards fostering a deeper understanding of mental health and emotional expression in men. Now let's get started.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You're so damaged by rejection that you're afraid to say how rejection feels because you don't want that to be rejected? Exactly.
Well, I don't even know how you would put it into words. It feels like your soul was crushed, like everything you've ever worked on is worthless, like you have no self-worth. It doesn't last long for me. I peddle in rejection all the time, like that's what I do.
In sale, it's tough skin. In relationship, it's life or death. Because to be rejected where I have an investment.
Well, and you, at that level, you're getting rejected by the person you want approval from the most, at least in my case. Like, I want the approval from her more than anyone else, and my mom.
I've got the most riding on this moment in this relationship. Mm-hmm. And so now I am trying to gain that validation that either I didn't get from mom or that I need reinforced by mom. Mm-hmm. And you don't have the capacity to do that because you're not my mom. And I did not deal with that. And I never thought that that would be unhealthy. But I think the way that you brought it to my attention was also unhealthy. And that's because you're not a therapist. And you didn't sign up to be a therapist. And so I don't know if I like you in this moment and how you talk to me. And you're like, no, you just don't like the truth. I just don't like your delivery.
Yeah.
Because it's not kind. And it's not kind because you don't have space for it. Meanwhile, subconsciously, it is accepted, expected, and appreciated when we take on the father role because we like when you call us daddy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We appreciate when you come and you snuggle and you act like a little girl and you want ice cream and you want to be coddled and you want security and we can see the innocence in your eyes. That is accepted.
We love that.
You feel safe with me. You feel vulnerable with me. You are able to be naked with me. This is I provide that safety. Yes. That's me, Tarzan.
Right.
Now, Jane, I also want to be sensitive because I'm in empathy. I want you to understand that I know exactly what that feels like. And Jane turns on Tarzan and says, "Nobody want to hear that from no grown man."
Because society has conditioned her.
Here's your ooga chaka. Go make fire or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, go make fire.
You didn't have to say it like that. Like, I will, but
right.
Ask
you
me.
Just said you were cold.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go make fire? And so when we seek to share our soul with our soulmate, when we seek to share our heart where our heart has been invested, and the benefactor and guarantor of this trust agreement says, go make fire. All we do in that moment is produce the stress that creates self-combustion. We get in the car, we slam the door, we turn up the music, and we are explosive. And now, because of social conditioning, we're not allowed to be explosive. We can't drive around in rage. That is policed. We can get into a bar fight. That is, you have to be more mature than that. You should have known better.
You want me to be a monster, or do you want me to be a soft lover? And they want the whole spectrum.
I want you to be a monster for me, and a lover for me, and a monster on my behalf.
Right.
And it's like, I am a man, not a machine. And the resentment is, well, I have to be a machine because I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a businesswoman. You think I'm the chef. You think I'm the maid. You think that I am the laundry associate, and you want me to be a sexual vixen. And then you want me to hold space for you psychologically for your unresolved traumas. You want machine from me, but then you tell me that you're human. And we clash there. And so the idea of a support system is important, where most men, we're only going to open up to one person at a time. So to suggest that we have a support system where we're open and vulnerable to in various circles is unbelievable, right? Where women have support systems. So she'll say something to you and then let you know she's got to go talk to her girls about it. She'll tell you what's going on and then let you know she's going to talk to her sister about it. She'll tell you what's going on and say, yeah, me and my mom are going to go do such and such. Because you're not her only source of support. You are the anchor. Now, if something goes wrong with the support system, she's going to tell you how crazy it was at work and how she's going through it with her sister. And that's important because that's her support system. And so you get to advise her on how to keep her support structure together. But there is no delusion that you are her only source of support. She has church, she has friends, she has family, she has an outlet, she's part of a group. She, they go on. She's probably got a work boo. There's all levels of outlet and support. For us, not so much. You have a friend. That friend is your guy. You talk to him about your work stuff, your wife stuff, your kids stuff. That's you've got one or two friends, and that's just what it's going to be. The idea that you are vulnerable in various spaces, it's already not safe.
It's not allowed.
That's another thing. So what happens is our support system is the wife.
Yep. And so if we're not getting that at home, we go down that's a huge rejection. Then we start, at least in my experience, I went down a dark path because of that.
That is unfair to her, that the weight of you and 40 years of trauma is what she has to walk around with a sensitivity to.
Yeah, that's not right.
While there is grace, you have to have other means of support. Just as you want to have multiple sources of income, there are different streams of revenue. There have to be different streams of support. And I don't mean infidelity. I don't mean that you should seek support outside of your marriage that, is going to create conflict or friction in the harmony that you have at home. Not what I'm suggesting. But I think we have to establish what support looks like. It is very interesting. I have a good friend of mine, and I'll say, hey, I'm going through this and that. She'll then respond, well, what are you going to do about it? I go every time I tell you what I'm going through. You then ask me what I'm going to do about it. And she's very self-aware, extremely clear. Yeah, because I'm not your mother. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I was giving you space to vent. And we have to understand what the phases of support look like. We have safe space to vent, and then we may need a space of advice. There are different levels to it. And then we may need comfort. It's like, well, I'm going through this, and I kind of just want to be babied about it. I just kind of want someone to tell me that I'm doing amazing standing on my feet in response to everything I'm dealing with right now.
Right. But saying that out loud as a man is tough to anybody.
It was like, what do you mean? What am I going to do about it? What's my plan? No, I didn't get that far. It was hard enough for me to say what I'm dealing with. Why are you asking me for 2-3 steps down the road? I'm just doesn't this make you want to do me a favor? But I don't know. And we don't know what to do with that space because it's foreign to us, and there aren't models of what those conversations sound like. There's not enough role play on how that could look in a healthy way. We've seen sitcoms, families in our community, of how parental conversations can go, how those social dynamics can go, and we have romantic comedies and office play romances, but we don't have as much, hey, here's what resolving trauma looks like with a love partner. Here is what resolution looks like for hyper-functioning masculine depression.
Maybe those are content ideas. Like
No, for sure.
Just make pieces on those, you know?
Yeah. We don't have narrative scripts, visual models of how that looks in action.
And that's what I worry about. Like, I worry about this podcast, the theme that we started. So we got this thing going on. But what I'm worried about is that there's a lot of people in this space talking about this issue. Like, I follow a bunch of people online that they're discussing it. And my fear is that because it's so hard, it just ends up being a bunch of people talking about the issue and no one ever gets help. Or maybe that's a doomsday way of looking at it. But it's scary because it's such a thing. Like, we can talk all day long about how to be vulnerable and still struggle. Like, I'm still struggling with it right now. You know, there's certain things that I just don't want to say. And that's my social conditioning. You know what I mean?
We will have to, the conversation is good. The conversation is important. The conversation is the start.
Right.
They say the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. That's this conversation. There is a problem in our community.
Right.
Now, the challenge is when you walk away and try to have this conversation at home. And that usually has to be guided because men are usually all or nothing in how we share. If you're going to share, you're going to get everything, right? Mm-hmm. And so we'll go on a retreat and say, hey, share with your wife. And then maybe I learned this and this, and actually you're kind of narcissistic. And you know what? You didn't have the tools. That's why. And I'm actually more amazing than you'll ever give me credit for, but you never gave your dad credit because you were defending your mom. And
on and on.
And thank you for providing a safe space to hear me. That was amazing.
Right. It's not like that. Men need like a permission structure. Men need to be, I need to hear someone telling a really embarrassing story to empower me to tell mine, you know? Yeah. I think that's human nature. So get a permission structure and some kind of incentive to get men to talk. That's something. I just don't know what it is.
We do well in corporate structures because corporate tools feel safe for men. You go into a sales training and there's an icebreaker. Someone is sharing something that makes them vulnerable. First 5 minutes of sales training. Then the motivational speaker starts off with empathy. Hey, I was just like you guys. I was also broke.
Right.
I didn't have this. I didn't have that. My wife kicked me out. I was living in the garage. We didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't have it together. And so now there's connection because we've all been at
so now once you say that, everyone's like, oh, me too. Like there's something in that story that you can connect with.
Right. So we've been vulnerable. There's empathetic connection. And now there's also a cable tow. Here's how I got out of that. I signed on for this program. Right. I knocked on these doors. I did this. And now, my wife and I, we just came back from some exotic trip.
From Cabo, we're doing great. We've never had a better relationship.
Right. And they see the picture on the screen. And you're like, yes, I want that. I am that guy. I've been through that. And I want that. And this is the glue. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do that. And that's why sales work for guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Because those sales techniques. This is why emotional comfort works for women. It is the ploy of, hey, there is, in this religion, there's always going to be comfort or support. You're never going to feel left alone. You're always going to, late in the midnight hour, there's always going to be a level of support. You can pray. You can always tap in to that. Stability works for women. So sales for men and religion for women. We got it figured out socially. We already do this. Now, what if you sold men the emotional support? Well, that's our job.
And that is the mission. Right. How do we make it accessible, fun, appealing, inviting? And then the conversation is the beginning point.
Yes.
And continue and showing up is the standard. Just showing up for the conversations, I think, is going to be a key.
Because genius is birthed in the room, and what I can appreciate is I'm confident in our ability to make it happen. I think we sit down strategically and we employ activity. We have team building exercise at work. We have human resources. We have ERGs. We have couples therapy. We have different activities. We have family vacation. We don't have team building exercise, family retreats for just the men in the community.
Right. Need to.
So whether it's the football dads get together with the basketball dads, and now we have athletic dads, or the men at the church, or because the men in the community, and I think young teens need to see that the men in the community are together. Our tribe is so scattered because we're trying to take care of our own huts, that we never come out of the hut to check on the neighbor to make sure the neighbor is okay. And if the neighbor is not okay, hey neighbor, let's go for a ride.
Because there is signs from the neighbor. Like if someone's going through something, there will be signs, because we talked about this on the first episode. When someone gets to the point where they're going to take action on their depression, it has already been they've already gone too far. I think the depression problem needs to be addressed in the beginning when the signs start. Like someone needs to be involved, just being aware of your friends' moods and, what's going on with the people around you, I think is important. Just to be cognizant.
Men are so guarded that we don't get to the numbers on death by suicide for men there's a drastic disparity from men to women. And some of the inconclusive evidence is that men aren't approachable. In that women, if they see a sign, hey, how you doing? Nope, I don't like the sound of your voice. I'm coming to your house.
Yeah.
I don't like your tone. I'm pulling up now. And so, you get there, you're like, girl, what's been going on? Da, 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 da. You didn't sound like you. Your house doesn't look like you. Come on, put some clothes on. We're getting out of here. We're going to talk about it. But they were able to break through the barrier of, no, I'm okay. There are signs, but guys on the phone, he goes, no, I'll be fine. You're not going to drive to that guy's house.
Right. Because it's a man. It's like,
he's a man.
Yeah, the man said he's fine.
He said, I'm good.
Yep.
There is nothing about our social conditioning that says, Chris said he's good. I don't like his tone. I'm going to drive to his house, bang on his door until he answers me, lets me in, and I'm going to make sure that he's good enough for me because I love him.
That is important.
We have the hugest, don't go to a man's house unannounced, don't drive to a man's house. If you know where he lives, don't pull up. Yeah. We have such a guarded barrier of distance between the help that we've put up.
We almost have to disrespect that barrier in order to help a friend sometimes.
Correct. So the signs are there, but the permission is not there. Right. And so I think we have to understand the vows of friendship. In being my friend, I give you permission to pull up if I say I'm fine and you hear some glass breaking in the background.
Right. Yeah.
If
I consider you my friend, you can come by and check on me. I'll say that now because I'm in the mind state that I'm in right now. But, when you talk to me and I'm sad, I'm going to say, no, I'm fine. And I don't want you to come over. But right now, since I'm in this mind state going forward, if you're my friend and you think you're worried about me, please check me. Check on me.
You have my permission. If you're my friend, hey, I wanted to bring some dinner by. I'm not staying long. Treat it like you do when someone is grieving. Hey, I just wanted to drop off some chicken. Right. I just wanted to peek in. Didn't mean any disrespect. I know this chicken is not going to go to waste. Even if you are fine, and if you're fine, then just bring by some beers later, and I'll know.
Right.
But if not, know that someone cares enough about you to bring you a bucket of chicken or whatever is the community thing that you do. I'm a pizza guy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, right? But as my friend, I give you permission.
Yeah, I give you permission as my friend, too, to make sure that I'm okay.
Yeah.
I would like yours,
I'm not always okay.
Right.
And it is the gut-wrenching that you hear that a dog is a man's best friend.
Because he doesn't judge. He listens intently. Loves everything you do.
He's there. He's always in the mood to go for a ride. He's always in the mood to go for a walk.
He's all about you.
He's emotionally available. Mm-hmm. And while from a resentful surface, that's because you're a narcissist. You want everything to be about you. No, I am just so much in pain that I need care. And someone who can't even talk, just their presence makes me feel like someone cares. If that be the case, what would it be if someone showed up at my door who could actually speak? It's not because the dog does tricks. It's not because it's a pony show. It's not because you're making money off of your dog. No, it's my best friend because when I am feeling like, oh my gosh, and I'm stressful, then the dog comes and just lays on my foot. And then there's a, hey, buddy.
A slight disruption, like you were disrupted with love, you know?
Yeah. You know, how could the dog be so graceful? And meanwhile, I'm frustrated about everything I have to provide for all the people that I love.
Right.
But this grace just, hey, buddy, you want to go for a walk?
I mean, learning to identify those moments in our lives and celebrate them as men individually, I think, is helpful to this mission. You know what I mean? If you can celebrate your own wins without being too cocky about it, you know, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Especially
because my win,
go for it.
No, it's very important. Mm-hmm. My win doesn't make me better than you. I didn't win versus Chris. I won versus Joe. Because yesterday's getting in the shower is a win if you're depressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because every day that's not a thing. Brushing your teeth isn't. And people don't know the signs. And so I think we have to look at some of the signs. Some of the signs are hygiene.
Yep.
Right? Just because, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Upkeep, like shaving, all that kind of stuff.
Right. So since I'm not going anywhere, well, right. And so our hygiene is part of self-care.
Right.
That bleeds into how well are you taking care of your home? Did you cut the grass? What are you doing? Are you not going to power wash it? I thought you got the power washer. Yeah. Why does your car look like this? What's going on?
Yeah.
You live inside your car sometimes. You know, I hear you say that, but you didn't say you travel. You said you feel like you live in your car. You got clothes and trash and fast food stuff all over. What's really going on? Mm-hmm. Right? These are signs.
Yeah.
And you might not fix the car problem, but the fact that there's so much confusion in the car lets me know there's confusion in your headspace.
Yeah.
Because home seems disheveled. I can understand that you're not fluidly processing emotion. So let's go to a place where things are still and calm. Let's not go to another place of excitement. We don't need to go to a basketball game. Yeah. Right. Maybe we just need to go to the pond. Maybe let's go fishing. Maybe let's go where it's quiet and you can see the layers very clearly. Hey man, how's it been going? And I don't know. It's okay not to know.
Yeah, I think this part is the discovery part. Like, we're looking for solutions to these problems, and I guess the only way to find it is to be looking. You know,
correct. And it's like if someone has ever experienced DSS or police call and understands how these agencies work, they're conditioned to come into the home and look for signs.
That's interesting.
They look for signs. They'll say, hey, let's see the cabinets to make sure there's enough food to provide for a family. Are there clean clothes in the closet? Is there food in the refrigerator? When's the last time the dishes have been washed? Okay, so it seems like everyone is in their right mind and civilized. Why is there a hot stove at the door? That's not really how we organize our homes, right? That's a red flag if things don't go in accordance with things. How much gas do you have in your car? How are you managing your time?
Right.
How are you managing your money?
How are your kids doing? How's your wife doing? How's your parents doing?
How are their grades? What is the teacher saying about their grades? And so, looking for signs versus snooping. See, if you're my friend, you can look for signs. If you're not my friend, I'm going to assume you're snooping.
Right.
And I'm going to put up a barrier. Don't keep coming because now I think you're looking for money. Now I think you're just trying to look for what you can lift out of my home. And, if you're my friend though, hey man, why do you have all these clothes on your desk?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that's where your clothes would go. Say, hey man, got to get to it, man. It's,
Well, that's not like you, man. Last week I came over. This house was spotless. What's going on, dude?
What's all this trash you got in the middle of the floor? I've never known you to, because when you meet someone and you're not judging them according to your standard, you are checking for signs according to their standard.
Right.
Because they're your friends. So you know them and their quality of living. You're not comparing them to what you want, your house level. According, if I were you, I'd know. You have an objective lens. You know what I know about you? I know that you are the cologne guy in our circle. And I've noticed that the cologne guy hasn't washed or shaved. So what's up? Right?
Yeah, those are all great ways to deal with that.
Because it's according to your standard that I'm looking for signs.
Yeah. I'm
not the cologne guy in my circle. So if I don't wash and you smell me, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you did last time too. So
no, he's always coming from the gym. He's all right. He's the stinky guy in the circle.
Yeah, he's the stinky one.
Right? We got a stinky guy. We got a cologne guy. Don't judge our circle. This is our circle.
That's right. We should go up for each other here.
You're right. It's okay. We got our own thing and we understand each other. Right.
We'll take it.
Okay. So according to what I know about you is how I can spot check to make sure you're okay.
Right.
But I need that permission as your friend to make sure you're okay. Otherwise, what are we friends for? Are we just drinking buddies? Do we just have this toxic relationship where we talk about women? Are you just my cover for when I want to cheat? What are we doing?
What exactly are you doing? Yeah.
Like, what is the social function of friendship in a male society? And typically, we've reduced it all to networking because we have.
You can provide something. You have a
There's usually some economic disenfranchisement,
or it could be anything. Like I was just thinking of my best friend out here, who I talk to every day. Like I have a routine. Like when I leave the gym, I call him. Just we kind of touch base about the day. We work together, but just he's the guy I talk about my family with. He talks about his family with. We get that out every day.
Wait, I'm processing something because I thought I was your best friend.
You are my best friend, Dr. Joe. You're dealing with rejection. Great. Let's talk about it.
I was not prepared for this. I'm going to have to get married so that my wife can hear that my best friend has another best friend behind my back.
Oh no!
What his family about?
Right. But it's important to have. Like I suppose because of my experience is why I seek people like that out. Like you also. Like I just seek people out that are like that. Because before I quit drinking, you're right. All of my friends had to do with the function of, we met around the alcohol or we met around the weed or whatever it was. Now, all the friends that I've made out here, the drugs and the alcohol are not here. So all the relationships that I've started have been real. They have been based around real interest, things going on in our lives. But still, there's some kind of transaction to it. You know what I mean? I mean, you and I are friends, but we're also podcast partners and, we're working on some stuff. But that's not the reason why we're friends,
right. And I think there has to be friendship where there are intangibles. And so the thought is, because I'm an entrepreneur, oh, that's your guy? You guys must be making money together. No, that's just my guy. That's my brother.
Yeah.
He's been a safe space since I've known him. Right. And that's intangible. And so I think because we don't always walk around seeking intangibles, because we don't find ourselves communicating the deficit of emotional support, we find ourselves communicating, where's the bread at? I'm a baker. Show me where's the bread. Yeah. You got that now? Put me on. Are they hiring there? Cool. Does she have a sister?
Right.
Great restaurant. Where? We're seeking the things that we can put our hands on that are going to make us feel better about our condition versus, hey, where can I process my actual feelings? This is a safe space for that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I think that's a tribe that a great number of men are looking for that they haven't been able to be vocal about because it's embarrassing to say. We walk into many of the churches in our community, it's 90% women. And so they found their tribe. And they may bring their husbands with them. And it may be a wonderful experience. But to have a wonderful experience with your wife's family is different. because it still doesn't feel like your experience. You love that she has that, and you have love for her family. And so oftentimes our religious circles, it's almost like we have a Christ-in-law.
Right.
Because we see how this could work. If that were me, I wish I had something like that for me.
Right.
And so we'll go around joining clubs, trying to figure out where's brotherhood, where is it safe for my emotional experience. We have to build it. And we have to be builders of community. And I think we've been searching for things that have been within our power to create. And now, since it's our fire, right, we have to make sure that we keep it lit. We have to make sure that we keep light shining on these discussions and that we find ways to help men and children establish safe friendships. We know how to establish a network. We know how to exchange a business card. Hey, if you need anybody who does what I do, call me for it.
Right.
Got that. But if you know anyone who is having difficulty expressing or processing any of the emotion, make sure they come to the group. Make sure they don't miss next Saturday. Right. It's going to be off the chain. We've got some activities planned. It's going to be really, really good. We got some people coming by. And so being able to establish friendship and give your tribe permission to support you.
Yeah, give permission to support you, and you got to also give that permission to your friends.
Correct.
Be vulnerable enough to receive help.
Yes.
In order to receive help, though, you have to talk about the problem.
You have my address. You can pull up. If I don't sound like me, if I don't text you back sounding like me, then it's not me. Pull up. I
promise I got you.
Pull up.
And I give you the same permission. I'll text you my address after this.
If you don't sound like you, I'm going to give you another chance via text. Hey, what's going on? You're just not feeling it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Not feeling it.
I guess we're going to get some breakfast.
Grab my keys, miss.
Yeah.
My brother's not feeling it.
Yeah, right? I appreciate that. I know we're saying it on the podcast. I mean that. I think that's super necessary for me, man. And I got your back.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever said anything superficial just because we were on camera.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think we do that.
We've had a lot of good conversations. I'm really excited that you got all settled and got you back on the podcast, man.
Oh, man, listen, I'm glad you're rolling.
Yeah.
Shout out to Riverside. Looks like a platform that you're enjoying, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll move on. Well, after we get off, we'll communicate about setting up recording times and stuff like that. Good. So, yeah. I'm excited, man.
It's like so many times we should have recorded that.
I know.
Not when we recorded first.
Yeah, let's record the conversation. If it sucked, then we won't use it. Yeah. But no, also, I mean, what the podcast started from is like, I've had these really fun conversations with friends on FaceTime. And it's like, dude, we should have recorded that,
Yeah.
But now, I think with the topics that we're talking about, and it feels like something shifted in the podcast. Like, I don't know. I feel very personal about this just because the proximity of, my friend passing away, my experiences with depression and suicide, it just felt like all these things, all the people that I've met, like you, I met some contacts at Rotary that I think can help this mission once we kind of get an idea of what we want to do with it. Honestly, bro, it felt like God laid this on my heart. He laid it on my heart in 2 minutes in the sauna. Like I got into the sauna and it felt like I was being uploaded. Like I was like, oh my God, I could do this to pay for that. I could do this. I know her. She can help. Like all of these things just kind of came.
I love that. Yeah. It's time for it.
Yeah. So I'm not excited for it, but I think the work needs to be done. And I want to be the one to do it because it feels super attached to me. Like I feel a calling with this. So I'm excited to see who we can help. I'm going to start putting like, things on the intro and the outro, like, hey, if you've got a story, if you've experienced something, you need some help, reach out to the podcast. We'll keep you anonymously. I don't ever have to meet you. You want to share a story, your story could help someone. I'm trying to get some engagement from the world. Tell me what you guys are thinking. You're struggling. Let's read the thing on the podcast and you and I will actively try to solve the problem or give it our best advice that we can.
Well, we can research blogs. There's got to be information that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard.
Okay.
I would like to offer a gentle suggestion
Sure.
for our brother Adam's family, because he's our brother.
Yeah.
And I think the best way that you can show love is to frame situations in a light of love. If you shine love on a situation, and oftentimes there's tragedy because that's the light we show on it.
Right.
We've reframed or rephrased how we give terminology to individuals who have died by suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But to Adam's family, I would like to shine some love and examine it from a light that Adam made the ultimate sacrifice so that his community could do better.
And here we're doing this in his name, like
Adam made the ultimate sacrifice so that his community could do better. And there are many Adams who have sacrificed for their community,
right,
who have sacrificed so that individuals can see the signs. And we appreciate Adam for waking us up to the blind side of what we hadn't been seeing in our community. And I think if we focus light there, we can celebrate his life without a resentment for his absence.
Right. That's very thoughtful. That's why we call it Thoughtful Thursdays, huh?
Much love to Adam's family.
Yeah.
Who I have grown to love through Chris.
Me too, man. Well, we'll talk soon. After we get off of this, could you leave that app up? Because it needs to finish uploading.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I won't close it out.
Okay. Brother, well, thanks a lot, man. It was good to see you again. Thank you guys for tuning in to Almost Above Average. A big thank you to Dr. Joe Shepard for continuing to do the Thoughtful Thursday segment with us. Hope you guys found this episode impactful, and if you did, please share it with someone that you love. And give us a 5-star review. That really helps out in the algorithm. And join us next following Thursday, for the rest of this conversation with Dr. Joe Shepard on Thoughtful Thursdays, only on Almost Above Average with Chris McIntyre. See ya.